What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Ron Harris here, and the New York Pro Judging is over. At least for Men's Open, they still got a couple more classes. So let's take a look. Nick Walker is, no surprise, far and away in the lead, but there's some really good competition for him. But let's start with Nick here. Okay, ready? Here we go, guys. So obviously he just competed a week ago. he wasn't going to be off or anything like that. He had plenty of opportunity to maintain the peak, maybe come in a little fuller. Yeah, Nick, he has the show in the bag, says Magos, and I agree. I mean, he almost beat Derek Lunsford. A lot of people had him. Most people had him beating Derek Lunsford a week ago at the Pittsburgh Pro. And here we are a week later with obviously no Derek in the competition. Bonac is pushing him. We'll take a look at Regan. Regan is really surprising. We're going to look at the comparisons right after Nick. He was the last guy to do his individual, I wouldn't call it a routine, his individual presentation before they did the first call out of the judging. But Regan surprised the hell out of me. I give Regan a lot of credit. I didn't know if Regan was going to be in shape because those updates, they were not giving me any confidence that he was going to show up looking the way he needs to look on stage, and he really did. Most people have him in third place right now. But we'll take a look, guys. We'll take a look. So Nick, obviously, we know Nick's strong points, brutal mass, incredible arms. He's a freak. Nick is the favorite to win the O this year. He's one of them. And, for the people that said Nick's never going to win the Mr. Olympia, well, I don't know about that. What's up, Zionic? Brave enough to go live and dissect the show. And just so you know, this is not from this. I am not taking this from the stream. This is from a YouTube channel. I'll show you. Play on TV. How do I minimize that? I think if I do this, escape. Yeah, this is a channel, Balder. This is not the stream. I did not pirate the stream. This is a YouTube video I'm taking this from. All right, so, oh boy, look at her. So we're going to bring out the first call out. See who made the cut. The first call out is obviously usually your top 5, top 6 in no particular order. So we have Kennedy making his pro debut there on the left. Kennedy Anyanwu, Colossus Ken, North American champ from a couple years ago. William Bonac, the Conqueror, looking fantastic. Nick Walker and Regan Grimes next to him. And then Krizo all the way on the right. Michael Krizo. I don't know why there's such a gap in between. They should have moved Nick and Regan closer together. You really don't need – I don't want to see a big gap like that. Oh, and Sasan Haradi's way down there on the right. Let's see if he gets moved at all. So, I mean, obviously, Nick just dominating, but Regan, that's a great shot for Regan, his front lat spread. It's not Bonac's best shot. Side chest is a great shot for both Bonac and Nick. It's actually a pretty good shot for Regan. I wish he had a thicker chest. That is an area he needs to bring up. We know his back is fantastic. Regan Grimes, probably his best body part is his back. Look at that. Nice and full and thick. Of course, Nick Walker killing it in the rear double bicep. Bonac looks like he's off to an angle a little bit. Rear lat spread. Nick looking great. Regan spreading, looking really wide. Krizo really needs help on his posing. He doesn't seem to be improving at all on that. Side try. Great shot for Regan. Great shot for Bonac and Nick. Take a look at the ab and thigh. Big brick abs for Nick. Massive quads for him. I know there are people with better legs out there. Look after this. Oh, they're already into the most muscular. Yeah, that's right. That's the last shot. Great shot for all three of them. Really surprised at Regan. Regan delivered. So Nick stays where he is, and they move everybody around Nick. What does that mean? Well, it means Nick's the winner, guys. Nick's the winner. But I don't think that was ever in doubt for one moment. Did you guys? Regan was brave enough. Yeah. What did you say there? Regan was surprised. Cruz posing was better. His body control. It's better. It needs to be a lot better. It needs to still get a lot better. We see it, Ron. You're good and covered. Yeah. So this is not the stream. I did not pirate the stream. This is a YouTube video that someone else pirated the stream or took a ton of their footage. Not me. Bonac is on his farewell tour. Nick looks awesome. Yeah, I do believe this will probably be the last last season for Bonac, and he's had a hell of a run. And I see him taking a solid second place here, which is nothing to be ashamed of. Not at all. Not at all. I agree. Krizo needs to really hire Chris Cormier or something. I don't think Chris would even charge him, to be honest with you. I mean, not that Chris doesn't need money. Everybody needs money, but I bet Chris would volunteer his services to Krizo. You know what? It wouldn't take much. I bet just a couple, just 2 or 3 sessions would help a lot, because there are things that he's doing, especially with his back shots, his transitions. It's just kind of awkward. Doesn't look like he's comfortable up there, and he's got a hell of a physique. But man, Nick Walker, like I said, this will be a record. No one's ever won this show 3 times. This will definitely be a record, and I don't see anything happening. Oh, I'm getting some reports on my WhatsApp. Was that it? That was the first call? That shouldn't happen on pros. Krizo's 10, not great again. That's what I'm hearing on a group chat that I'm on. So those guys are off stage. Nick might look better. That's a second group. Let me see if I can find I want to find Regan. Who's this? That's not Regan. Oh, that's Nick. So that was the end. That's Sasan. Let's take a look at Sasan, because clearly he was off a little bit, or else he would have been moved around. He was not. So here's Sass. Still has a very, very impressive physique. You can see right there in the glutes and the hams softened up from just a week ago. I don't know what happened. I don't think he went back to UK or anything. I think he stayed in the US, but he looked a lot better in Pittsburgh just a week ago. And like I said, you know, we say this all the time, us pundits, us media guys. Physiques can change very quickly in a matter of even just a day. But in a week's time, they can get a lot better. They can get a lot worse. And he doesn't look awful. He didn't get much worse, but it was enough to knock him down. He's not beating Nick. Well, he wasn't going to beat Nick anyway. He's not beating Bonac. Regan's got him. I think Krizo's got him too today. So that leaves him 5th or 6th, depending on where Ken making his pro debut place. Let's go back up to, let me find Regan. Is that Regan? Yeah, here we go. A little back a little bit. Yeah, Grimy surprised me, man. I don't know who that is. Sorry. Don't get mad, guys. Don't get mad. I don't know who he is. I don't know who everybody is. All right, here comes Regan. And, you know, I did, in my previews, I wasn't giving any glowing reviews. I wasn't confident about Regan because it's been a long time since we've seen him, and the updates he was posting, I thought he was behind in condition. He pulled it out of the bag. This is the best Regan I think I've ever seen. Definitely better than the last couple times we saw him. I know he's made top 10. He was like 8th or 9th at the Olympia a couple years back. We didn't see him at all in 2024. So this is the first time we've seen Regan on stage in a year and a half. He's been putting in work. I still want to see more chest. Crazy back on this guy. I love his back. He's got one of the greatest backs in the pro league right now. Look at that. Top to bottom, side to side, thick, detailed. Could he be a little sharper? Maybe a little, of course. But, man, this is a great, great package for Regan. Very, very happy with what he brought today. I know he doesn't need me to give him any approval, right? He knows what he's doing. Yeah, so props to Regan. In my predictions, I had him like 5th, 6th. Obviously, I was wrong. And, you know, predictions are just based on what we think might happen. There's never any rhyme or reason to it. Who's this? Is this Bonac? Or is this is Ken. Yes. No. Is this Ken? No, this is somebody else. That's sorry, Mark Arthur. Let's look at Bonac. Take a look at Bonac's individual. Okay. Great shot for Bonac. I know one arm is a little bigger, guys, and one's a little smaller, but so thick, so dense. A master at presenting the physique. Knows exactly how to position himself perfectly to showcase his strong points, sort of detract your attention, take your attention away from the weak points. Side shots are always crazy. Side chest, side try. He's so thick, so dense, just stacked with muscle. Looking fantastic today. Yeah, solid second. I know they're moving Regan around. I think overall, I know the younger guys are going to be biased toward Regan. I'm 55. I'm biased toward William. I just see more going on, more strong points to the physique than Regan. Regan has a beautiful shape, guys. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy did win this as a classic physique competitor in 2018. You don't win a classic show without phenomenal shape. Great pose for him. I love his crab. That is one of the best crabs in the game. What else we want to look at? That's not Krizo. That's another bald white guy. White guys all look the same. I know. Okay, so this was Ken making his debut. Let's back up just a bit. All right, so this is the first pro show for Colossal Ken, Kennedy Anyanwu. Based on that name, I'm going to guess he's probably got some Nigerian ancestry in him, which is a great place to be from if you want to be a great bodybuilder. Great X frame, nice flaring quads, great V taper. Put on a lot of size since he turned pro. I think it was something in the neighborhood of 25 pounds of lean muscle tissue that he's added since he turned pro. Side leg looks great. Ham drop, thick chest, shoulders, back right there. You can see the lats insert a little on the high side, but you know what? That hasn't stopped too many people if everything else is good enough. Back still needs a little bit of work. I like the thickness and density up in the traps. I want to see more in that lower lat area. It's a work in progress. The back needs to be thicker for sure, but this guy is good. He could be beating Sasan Haradi, which if he does, he needs to keep that gut in check on the side, guy. When you're in those transitions, you got all eyes on you. This is a whole crowd there. The judges in person, then you have many, many more thousands, hundreds of thousands around the world, maybe millions watching the pay-per-view and looking at the Instagram highlights. So you got to be on your game. Where was Krizo? There he is. Yeah, there's Krizo, right? Nope, it's not Krizo. I keep doing that, guys. My bad. Let me try to find Krizo for you. Come on, Krizo, where are you? That's Sasan. That's another bald guy. I should have known that guy's too dark to be Krizo. Yeah, how did I miss Krizo? Where is he? Now I got to look at it. This is Vincent Massoni. I have to go look at the list and look at the order and see where he was. New York Pro. Come on, Ron. You can do it. Okay, here we go. So Krizo was before this guy. Okay. Gotcha. That's not him, though. There we go. There's Krizo. I knew I'd find him eventually, right? All right, Krizo. No, I want to show Krizo's entire presentation. So he followed Sasan. So let's let Sasan finish up, get off stage. And now we'll take a look at Michael Krizo from Slovakia. Big dude. Tan does look better. It does look better than it did a week ago. Look at that. Shoulders, arms are very impressive. Quads, very thick, nice sweep. Great front double. Great X frame on Michael. It's just what hurts him a little bit is he's got a longer torso in proportion, the bone structure, and you can't do anything about it. Waist is a little bit wide. It's not a big blocky waist. Needs to keep that waist sucked in, though, on those side shots. But, geez, look at that. Now, the back shots, he's gotten some heat over. Let me see if he hits his rear double any better this time. Glutes are in. Glutes are dug out. He's in shape. All right, so pinch and then spread. No, look at it. It just looks, it's like lopsided. He just looks really awkward there. It's not spread out and even. I know I'm being critical, guys, but when you're trying to split hairs with these guys when it comes down to who places where sometimes, because we got Nick in the first place. That's not a question, but things can get questionable after that. Like great shot, that crab of his. Let's see if I find the final call out in open. Yeah, this was it. So this was your top four. Yeah, this was your top four. Wow. Okay. Which means Sasan is probably fifth. No, wait a minute. So it's William. Is it top five? William, Nick, Krizo, and Regan. Okay. So yeah, fifth place is either going to be Kennedy or Sasan, but this is your top four. Now, what's the order going to be? That's what we want to know. That's the $1 million question there. I'm way behind on your comments. I always are. Thank you for watching, Reagan. Reagan looks flat. Well, a little on the flat side, but you know what? This is still a great look for him. Condition is way better than I anticipated. I got to say, I was wrong in thinking he's not going to be in shape. He's in shape. He brought it. Good for you, Regan. You did it. Regan's coach trying to figure out a perfect peak. Yeah, he's with Boss like a lot of people. He's from Jersey, but he owns New York. Yeah. Well, the show is in New Jersey, if that helps. This is taking place in Teaneck, New Jersey, where he also, Steve Weinberger also puts on the Universe every year. I competed in that same venue, in that same stage a couple times. Nick nailed perfect peak again. Yeah, Nick's all set. We bantered last stream about politics and dubious judging. What do you think about the comments made by Rob on the Menace podcast? I didn't watch that. And we're going to take a look at the classic too. Bonac too, yeah. Can't believe these bodybuilders spend so much time building physique when it comes to presentation staff. Yeah, Black Patron. You know, in the old days, it was not an afterthought. They put a lot of time and effort. I mean, I've spoken to many of the old school guys from the 70s and 80s that they would spend a full hour after every workout. When the workout was over, it was time to pose. So the workout wasn't really over because posing is a workout, and they would spend the time, even though they were tired and beat to shit. They were dieting. They had just trained, but they would take the time and really get that posing nailed. Crezo 3, I think Regan's got third. I could see Crezo though. I see what you're saying. If you're going on shape and aesthetics and flow, Regan's got that over Crezo. Regan's a little more quad and bicep. Yeah, his biceps aren't great. His back's always been great. His legs are too small. God, it's like this is the time when they decide to mow my lawn, but you know what? I don't want to mow it. Hosama, we're going to get to Classic, guys. We're going to get to Classic. We're going to get to 212. We're going to take a look at it all. Let's see. Sasan wasn't in Pittsburgh. Okay, yeah, my bad. Detroit. He was in Detroit. You're right. My bad. Bonac beats Regan. He's got everything. Conditioning. Oh, yeah, I don't think it's a question. I don't think anyone's got Regan over Bonac. How'd Nick look? Well, we've been looking at it, Mark. Boston Pro Bonac may have been his best version. Yeah, and look, I was there. Luckily, happy to say I was there. You pronounce names horribly. Which name am I saying wrong? Probably the Nigerian name, because I'm not familiar with a lot of those names. Kennedy Anyanwu, Nick Walker. I said that one correct. Sasan Herati, Regan Grimes, William Bonac, Krizo, Michael Krizanek. I don't know what kind of pronunciation you're looking for. Krizo can't pose. It's not an E. It's an I. You're talking about Krizo? I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know what your issue is there, dude. Does Nick look better this week? I think he looks the same, and that's fine. Swinging a terrible poser. Regan looks great. 10 could have been better. Top 2. Wouldn't matter. Krizo is all arms and shoulders. Shaky. His left lat has that big Rami pinch going on. All right, New York Pro. Just want to get through these before I switch over. He needs to hire Jason Genova. Jason was not a very good poser. Bonac was kind of small in this lineup. I have Nick 4th. You don't know how shows are judged then, Mark. If you have Nick in 4th, you're either very new to the sport or you don't know. I don't even know what to say to that. Regan looking soft in the front like Derek. Yeah, I'm not a fan of like when he hits the bicep shots. There's really not much detail going on. Nick is light years ahead. Nick is Olympia qualified. Sorry, Regan looks every time the same. I think he's a little better than he looked a couple years back in 2023. Back double is so bad for Krizo. Nick's legs look more shredded. So Regan's best showings. What's up, natural bodybuilding? Nick will not pull out this year. No, he's not going to pull out this year. I think Bonac's midsection is the worst I've seen. Nick easy. For some context, Bob was prattling away and let slip on the scorecard backstage. Josema won the judging. Let's test this was the case. Then Bob realized he slipped. Tried to segue. Let's go to classic judging. Why don't we do that? So I just need to escape. Go to this guy's channel. Balder. He's got New York Pro Open judging. Let's go to classic judging. Where was first call out? Oh, that's far away. I don't like that. That looks very far away. I do not like that. Oh, this is awful. Awful. Let's go to the final four then, I guess, and try to make it bigger. And you're going to crucify me, guys, because I might not know who everyone is here. So this is classic. You see Josema there, second from the left. They put Terrence Ruffin and Josema directly in the middle. I'm not sure who these other two guys are. My apologies, guys. Wow, this footage is not great. I'm going to have to go to like Gilco stuff for them. I'm not loving this. Can I make it any bigger? Nope, can't make it any bigger. Yeah, that's so small on the screen. I don't know if it's even worth it. I think I'm going to go to Gilco and see what they have. Gilco always puts up some really nice clips. Gilco Productions. We'll take a look. I know they had both Josema and Terrence up. Actually, they got the names of these other guys too. That's good. All right, so share this tab instead. Okay, so make sure I get the right stream. Yep, okay. Okay, so let's take a look first at Josema since we were just talking about him. So I guess he's winning the judging. Is that what Bob said? I did not know that. He looks amazing. Condition is crazy. I do think he needs a little bit more quad from the front and a little more arms. We're being picky, more triceps in particular. They're a little flat and underdeveloped compared to, look at that back. His back is just so massive, thick, all the way down to almost to the hips. Very rugged, dense back. Look at those glutes. You can't get any leaner than this guy is right here. That is just insanely shredded. This is Jose Manuel Munoz. I am pronouncing that perfectly for those who were talking crap about my pronunciation. So Jose looked awesome. Let's see. Terrence was next. So here's Terrence, who beat Jose last weekend in Pittsburgh. I do know that's true. I know I screwed up and said Sasan was in Pittsburgh. He was not. We had just seen him in Detroit. Was the last time we saw him compete. Terrence, I love this guy's shape. Arms came up a lot. Arms were not the best body part for him. The one area I still want to see more from is just back thickness. His overall shape structure is just God-given, perfect. Back is pretty good. It's just I think he's next to Jose. When we're comparing it to Jose Manuel Munoz's back, it's not going to be at that level. But Ruffin looks fantastic. Fantastic. I'm going to leave him up there while I take a few more comments. Nick easily wins this. Crizo. Yeah, I know how to spell. Crizo is how you say it. It's not Crizo. Was that what you're arguing with me about? Well, if you're from Slovakia and you know that's the right way to say it, then good for you. The Tyrus. Nope. Branch, my dog. You can't come out. You can't come out here. I lost the comments. Same Regan. Yeah, I'm showing classic right now. Yes, you want me to say Crizo? Crizo? I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Crizo. Everyone I've ever heard. And I did an interview with him less than 2 weeks ago, and I said Crizo many times, and he didn't correct me, and his friend Patrick didn't correct me. So I'm pretty sure it's Crizo. The show classic, yes. Same Regan. Easy win for Crizo. Easy win for Crizo. It is not an easy win for Crizo. No, it is not. Crizo is not winning this, guys. Who else? There was another guy there I wanted to take a look at. So I guess he'd probably be the third place. This is, what's his name? Murat Kara Hasanlar. Okay. Had to get the names. Murat. I know I've heard of this guy before. Nope, that's the wrong one. My bad. We're going to look at 212 as well. All right, so this is Murat. I guess he's probably going to be third place because Gilco usually they have a good eye. Mitchell Gilbert and his brother, they have really good eyes for physiques, and they have a good sense of who's going to be the top placers. So if they have only 3 guys in classic, Terrence, Ruffin, Hosema, and this guy Murat, then this is probably your 3rd place guy. Very, very balanced, great shape. Probably want to see a little more arms. You got to be nitpicky. You got to be nitpicky because these guys are all fantastic. It's little things that separate first place from second place, from third place, and so on. These guys, they're all good. Once you get to the top 5, top 6 in a lineup, everybody's really good, or they wouldn't be there. Good for him. Okay. I don't know if there are any comparisons with those two, but while we're on the Mitchell Gilbert page, let's look at the 212 guys. So I guess the front runners, we can look at the judging in a minute, but the front runners for 212 were this gentleman, Angel Calderon Frias, Angel Calderon Frias. I'm pronouncing that correctly, sucker. From Spain. He's a little Hercules. He's probably 5'2" on a good day, maybe shorter, and just stacked, thick, dense. Couldn't fit any more muscle on that frame if you wanted to. And he doesn't have a gut. He doesn't have a little dainty waist, no. But look at that. Glutes are in. It's nice and stripy, all striated. Boom, opens up that lat spread. It's like a cobra. He's got those flat traps on top, kind of like Kai Green had. Other people have the more sloping angular traps, which I prefer that look. To me, it sort of really rounds out the pose, completes it. But geez, look at that. He is, yeah. So that's probably your 212 winner, but oh, this must be someone else that looks really good. I wasn't aware of this guy. So Luis Estevas, don't know where he's from. Looks fantastic wherever he's from. Let's go back to him. So beautiful shape for 212 guy. Very comparable to Angel. Look at that. Nice clean muscle separation. Beautiful front lat spread. Nice taper there. Shoulder to waist ratio. Wish he'd held that shot a little longer. Really striated there on the side leg. Nice separation there between the biceps, triceps, brachialis. I like to see that. I like to see a lot of clean, deep, clear muscle separations. Not that bloofy, soft look, which, most of us would say that's probably from injecting either SEO or just a bunch of your regular gear in that area. So this guy looks great. Good for him. Wasn't really familiar with him. The 212 division, we haven't really been talking about it a lot lately. As we get closer to Olympia, I'm sure we will be, but it's been kind of quiet because they didn't have a 212 at the Arnold. Didn't have it last weekend either at Pittsburgh. And here we go. This is probably either first or second, depending on what the judges go for. Francisco Barrios Vilk, originally from Argentina. I believe he lives in Brazil now. So he's got a more aesthetic physique. Not lacking in size, but compared to Angel, Angel's just so thick and dense. He's a big, big dude. Francisco, not as massive, but very well put together. Great presentation. I love his confidence. You could see the passion shine through. He loves bodybuilding. You could see it. You could see it in every pose and every transition. Look at that. I mean, he's having the time of his life up there. And that's infectious because I don't like to see people out there who look miserable, look like they'd rather be somewhere else. Then you feel like, well, why are you here? But this kid, because I believe he's still only 25, 26, he's amazing. He's getting better and better. Condition, always on point. Works with Patrick Tour. Yeah, classic. I wish I had had better footage of that. Let's see if the 212 looks any better for the call outs. Yeah, I could see they're closer up. I don't know why it was so far away. I'm just gonna go to the first call out once I find it. So I'm going to take a look at 212. Okay. All right. So this was 212 division today. Angel's all the way on the left. They're going to move in the middle. Francisco's already being moved. They just come out in numerical order. And then the head judge makes the switches. Oh, there's Cody's robot there on the right. Cody's probably if they have him there, that's a really good sign. Cody hasn't competed in a minute. So in the middle there, you got Angel in the middle, probably your winner. Francisco and Cody on either side, looking really good. Let's go to some of your comments. Nick wins if Nick's winning, Ali. Don't worry about that. There's no way Nick isn't winning. Would you rather have Regan's body or Nick's? I'm going to go with Regan just because he's taller. I'd rather be like, I think Regan's about 5'11" or 6 foot, and Nick is even shorter than me. And Regan has a more aesthetic physique, a more pleasing physique. Yeah, if we're talking about if my goal was to be the best competitive open bodybuilder in the world, I'd rather have Nick's body than Regan's body. But you're talking about walking around every day, I'd rather have Regan's. I think Regan improved, but somehow he just cannot seem to get really crisp cut. Yeah, I still don't see him like dry and shredded to the bone, but his condition is very good today. What if previous surgery affects still bicep? I think it's a posing problem because the shoulder was definitely repaired. If he had any issues with the shoulders, he wouldn't have been able to train. Is this guy still cutting my lawn? Yeah, he's still here. My God. He wouldn't have been able to put all the size back on, which he did. He did. So I don't think it's a shoulder. I think he just needs to work on his posing. I really think so. Sass probably not in the top 5. What do you think Nick has improved to win the Olympia? There's nothing he can really improve on. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna change between now and then? He's got all the size. He doesn't have any really lagging body parts that he needs to bring up. Maybe a little more chest. He could use a little more chest. But look, he almost beat Derek, and Derek has beaten Samson. Derek has beaten Hadi. So that shows he's on that level. I mean, you want to say, well, if everyone's at their best, well, that never happens. That's what we say in our speculations, in our theoreticals, but we never see a situation where everyone's at their best. Someone's either comes in a little flat or they're a little bit off, a little blurry, a little film of water or body fat. No one ever shows up 100% at their best. Why isn't AS? What? I don't know what you mean. You think about Josema, and Terrence in Classic. Sass is not first, Ali. I'm sorry. He's definitely not first. They didn't even move him, so there's no way he's in first. He was off to the side, and they never moved him. Josema and Terrence in Classic. From that, it was so far away. I couldn't really tell you. It took 2 years off to improve by 1%. True, I was expecting more improvement, but I am giving him credit because I didn't think, based on the way he was looking in his photos, his progress photos, his updates, I didn't think he was going to be in shape for this, and he is in shape. Can't wait to meet Terrence. Yeah, he's doing a tour with Giles Thomas, and Giles does the Olympia All-Star Tours. He's done them with Ronnie Coleman a few times. He had Phil Heath over there years back. He had Andrew Jacked. Giles is doing a bunch of these tours now, and Terrence is the very next one coming. Lee Priest was he did one earlier in the year with Lee Priest. Yeah, Sass was off a little bit. Definitely looked better in Detroit. Terrence looks better and lighter. You can see it in the lower back. Oh, Terrence is in shape. No. Did I hear how Terrence was actually in second place last week? What? No, I didn't hear about that. Where did you hear that? I mean, unless it came from an official person, I'm not going to believe that's true. Samson, he's not going to have less back development. What's he going to stop training his back? But I agree. When you have a dominant body part like that, you shouldn't have, especially in Classic, which is supposed to be about proportions, symmetry, proportion, and balance. You shouldn't have any one area that really dominates your physique where people go, wow, what a back, or whoa, look at those legs. No, it should be, what a physique. Everything should be evenly developed and equally impressive. Pronunciation, people are, I got someone in my comments saying I shouldn't be drinking. You know, stand-up comedians, when they're doing their stand-up, they stop and take a drink every few minutes. My throat gets dry, guys. I'm sorry, because I'm going to drink when I'm thirsty. Actually, why me soon how Nick lost. Sass was also in FIBO. Yeah, I know. I'm talking so fast sometimes, and I'm not thinking about these past shows. I'm staying focused on the present. Maybe I'll go back to the open. Open judging. Do escape. Go back to this guy's channel. Let's got the whole judging on there. Look at him go. While we take some comments. Okay. I got to get rid of this ad. Now I got to look at an ad for a Zoom phone. I don't want a Zoom phone. Come over to this channel. No, I don't want to join your channel. All right. Back to your comments, guys. Back to your comments. What?
Sorry, are you busy?
Yeah, I'm streaming. What do you need to know?
Oh, nothing. Sorry.
Okay. You can take the Legion pre-workout, yes. Go ahead. You can see tweaks in his posing from the side chest. My son's going to the gym. Krizo has good genetics. He has great genetics. He always seems uncoordinated with horrible posing. Nick wins. Krizo wasn't going to beat, or someone wants me to say Krizo, but it's no. Everyone pronounces it Krizo, guys. Everyone I've ever heard say his name, it's Krizo, not Krizo. Psycho. Glad to make it. Just hit legs. You want to flip-flop? Yeah, I did that a couple hours ago. Sess didn't do Pittsburgh. Okay, guys. I make mistakes while I'm talking. When I'm talking fast and I'm focusing on this show, yeah, sometimes I make little mistakes. My bad. You want your money back? Yes, you got second to Andrew Jack and second to Bonnick a few weeks ago. Thanks for correcting me. I'm sorry if I'm coming off across like a dick, but guys, does it really matter? How's everything going? Nick dominating, isn't it? Yeah. Nick's dominating. Think has a chance, maybe? Absolutely. I mean, I've seen guys lose a show one week to a person, then beat the person next week. I've seen that many, many times. Nick should have won last week. Absolutely. Chris. What do you want me to say? Chris. Oh, dude, relax, Mark. Is Krizo. Oh, you don't want me to say, oh, you want me to say is Krizo? You want me to say Krizo, not Krizo. Krizo. Okay, Krizo. Are you happy? Krizo. Dude. God, we're looking at physiques here, and you're worried about how we're pronounced. It's pronounced. He says Krizo. Mark's. I've heard it pronounced both ways, and I was saying Krizo the whole time in my interview with Krizo 2 weeks ago. They never corrected me. You'd think he would have said, excuse me, Krizo. He didn't do that. So either I was saying it correctly or he doesn't care. If he doesn't care, why do you care? Krizo has better shape than Nick Walker. Yeah, I don't know. He has a longer torso. That's very debatable. If you think Krizo is going to win, he's nowhere near winning. They would have had him in the middle at some point, guys. He never got moved next to Nick once. That tells you something. The IPB show. William better shape than Nick Walker? No, he doesn't. No. William has a pretty thick waist himself, a wider waist, a short torso. Neither one of them has great shape. Marcus Rule got the title. Yeah, 2002, he did win I think it was 2002, he won the Night of Champions in New York, which 3 years later became New York Pro. They discontinued Night of Champions, and they began the New York Pro, I should say. Close, just missing the proper accent. Angel. It's either Angel or Angel. Depends on which Spanish country you're from. Mi pronunciación en español es se de perfecto, porque yo soy casado a una cubana por 35 años, okay? So relax. Krizo looks terrible. Instagram bodybuilder. We'll give him last place. Last place is terrible to say because there's like 15 guys up there. Yeah, we're looking at the second call, guys. I like Nick's rear double. He has a great rear double. It's one of his best shots now. Krizo pissed in your shirt. Krizo. William's arms are starting to suffer, especially his right arm. Yeah, you could see one of his arms is a little smaller. Strong off of symmetry, plus his waist is as blocky as Nick's. Can you explain why Regan is losing to Nick? I like Regan more. Oh, that's easy. Nick is much, much thicker. He's much more conditioned. He's got body parts much better. His biceps are twice the size of Regan's and have peaks, and they have definition to them. Regan does not have any of that going on. Bro, what are these comments are so freaking negative? Yeah, I mean, some people woke up on the wrong side of the bed, as we say. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to go back to some Gilco footage. What do you say, guys? You want to see some nice Gilco footage? They have the best stuff. They really do. crystal clear 4K. Gotta get past the men's physique. Does he not have any of the open guys up? Oh, I don't think he does. He does not. Wow. Yeah, I'm on the Gilco Productions Instagram page, and he's got routines from a lot of he's got 212 guys, classic guys, wellness, men's physique, women's bodybuilding, which there are only 3 of them. Yeah, 3 women's bodybuilders. That does not bode well for the future of women's bodybuilding, that they only had 3 of them show up. No bueno. I wonder if Nick's got it up on his page. I guess how would he already have it? He doesn't. RX Muscle, Dave, he has a lot of good stuff there. Let's see what he's got. They do excellent contest coverage. Absolutely, they do. Okay, let's leave that. Yeah. Okay, just going to leave that up while we take some more comments. He's beating Calderon. So you mean Francisco's beating Calderon? I mean, he's got it's an apples and oranges situation between Angel Calderon Frias. I'm not even trying to pronounce that properly. Angel is more of a shorter, bulkier, Herculean type physique. Francisco Barrios Vic is a more aesthetically pleasing, better V-taper, better flow and shape. So it depends on what the judges go for today. I only watch classic open wellness and bikini, sometimes figure. When I do these, I don't even typically go into these other divisions. I mean, I don't get much engagement on it, so can't get into 212. Larry Wheels got his pro card today. I saw that. Congratulations, Larry. Crizzo needs to train with Dorian and take him to the next level and take posing lessons. Will he, though? Will he go to Spain to train with him? I don't know. 212 is cool, but I'm 5'7", so watch the open class. 212 is about 5 foot to 5'5". Occasionally, you do get guys who are 5'6", 5'7", but they're the tallest. Heard Larry Wheels didn't make weight. He must have made weight because he got his pro card. He won classic, came 4th in open. Oh, he did both. Oh, well, Larry looks very big for a classic guy. Absolutely. Calderon looks blocky. He is blocky. I mean, he can't help it. He's very short. He's 5'1" or 5'2". He's got a shorter torso. Should we go to Larry Wheels? Everyone loves Larry Wheels. Let's see if he's got any footage up. No. Yeah, over there in Ireland, where it is 5 hours ahead of us. Does Larry have any footage up on his channel? He's got 5.4 million followers. Whew. God bless him. It's a great double bi. Well, he needs more legs, man. Considering he's got a torn bicep there. Looks pretty damn good. Look at that. He's a big dude. Oh, El Campeón. This guy is like a clown. I can't stand watching him. Ugh, lucky for you, you had to stop, sir. You'd be dead, dude. Strong. He barely moves the weight usually. I don't want to talk about him. I'm not going to waste my time. Oh, man. Buys and tries. What do they got? That's pretty freaky. That's an iPhone picture for sure. Oh, there's a Larry Wheels winning his classic class. Congratulations, Larry. Huge following on social media, on YouTube. And I don't think we would even have Andrew Jack as one of the top pros today if Larry Wheels hadn't started featuring him in his videos that he was shooting a few years back in Dubai. We had no idea who Andrew Jack was. He had never competed. Some good shots. This guy will never win Olympia. No, that's true. Get some comments. Is what live? My video is live. No, the footage you were looking at was not live. That was from a YouTube channel who took some footage from the stream. I didn't take it. I took footage from his YouTube channel. So he's the one that can come after me because the other guys were in open trunks, 212 breeds, open class Olympians. Sometimes it does. Actually, let's see. Derek was 212 champ. He went on to become Mr. Olympia. Hadi Choopan was a very good 212 guy. Never won the Olympia, but obviously he won the Mr. Olympia later when he moved to open a few years after that. William Bonac started off in 212. Sean Clarita, 212. He's also done some open. Keon is our current 212 Olympia champion. I believe we will see him as Mr. Olympia within 2 to 3 years. That's my prediction. Ryan, you finally said something half good. Well, great. So he did both classes. So talk about Larry Wheels. Yeah, both classes. He's doing the pro show as well. Oh, you guys are all talking about Larry. I don't know. Chriso is a terrible poser. He's working on his abs, start tanning in advance. He has no base tan, and I don't know if he's capable. Some people can't tan. Like I've said this before, but I used to talk to Dennis Wolf every month for his column in MD. Plus, we did a lot of training articles and so on. And Dennis told me he had never had a tan in his life. He would always just, even a few minutes in the sun with sunblock on, he either had to put on enough sunblock so that nothing happened to his skin, completely protected, or if he went out in the sun, even for a few minutes, he could feel it start burning. He's had sunburns, but he's never had a tan in his life. It's just some people's complexion or lack of melanin or something. Larry's going to compete in Olympic qualifier today, tomorrow, same show. Oh, okay. Good for Larry. Good for him. Is Cuiso's posing still bad? Yes. Who's currently top 5 inches for open classic in your opinion? Oh boy. I'm not going to do all that. Did Sass come in off? Yeah, he did. He wasn't his best. Wasn't his best. Oh, this dog. I'm going to show you Nick again while I'm doing the skip. Dog is going crazy. Something's going on out there. It's Vincenzo Mazzoni. Regan, Instagram bodybuilder. Regan has awesome. These guys are all genetically blessed. Every single one of these guys you're looking at today, they're all genetically blessed. Regan forgot his thighs at home, just like Derek in Pittsburgh. He's still probably going to be third, which is not bad. To lose to Nick Walker and William Bonac. Chriso was the best poser in the world. It might avail him one placing at the Olympia, nothing more. I mean, yeah, it's the physique. He doesn't display his physique to the best, but it's still, his physique still needs some work in certain areas. His back, his hamstrings need to come up. So even if his posing was flawless, he would still need more. What happened to muscular development? It went out of business in November 2023. I didn't know until 3 days before the company shut down. We all got a phone call, and that was the end of that. The owner, Steve Bleckman, he was over the age of 70. He'd been working very, very hard for many, many years, decades and decades. He was a workaholic. He just decided he was going to enjoy the rest of his life and not work 12, 15 hours a day, I wish MD was still around. We had a great thing going there, but it's gone now. Yeah, I don't watch all the podcasts, guys. I know I should, right? People hating on Nick's physique don't realize this in classic, it's open, shape matters, but it's not the most important factor. Exactly, it's one factor. Shape is one factor. Everything is just one factor. Size, structure, muscle shape, conditioning, balance and proportion, symmetry, left to right. Balance and proportion is, upper to lower. Is every body part as developed as every other body part? Or some overdeveloped or undeveloped in comparison to others, which shouldn't be the case. Oh boy, look at you. Run. Choice for Pittsburgh Class Physique Scorecard Fiasco for Sama. Dude, I don't remember that stuff. It's these things like when I'm doing these lives, my brain's like scattered all over the place. So my apologies. Sometimes the things that you guys think are like super important, like they matter a lot to you. To me, I just sort of brush past them. So, no apologies. It's just, I'm trying to look at the big picture of everything going on. And sometimes one of you guys will be focused on one little aspect of like a show from a week ago or a month ago or this competitor. And if I don't know everything about one competitor, some of you guys get mad because that's your favorite guy and you know everything about them. And I don't. And, oh, well, sorry. I try to keep up on things. That was Samir Trudy in the 212 lineup. Yeah, I don't want to say I've given up on him, but I've been waiting for Samir to just pull it out of the bag and show up looking shredded. I've been waiting for years, and I still haven't seen it. He's got a fantastic physique. I love Samir Trudy's physique, but he has not brought proper condition. I don't think I've ever seen him in really great condition. So until you do that, you can have a great physique, but if you show up and you're off, you're not even in the first call out usually. So my bad. I do know what he looks like. That 212 footage was pretty far away. Surprising that Lee Priest got more people turned up than the Ronnie Coleman seminar. No, I mean, Lee's I don't know if that's true. I don't even know what the numbers were. So is this still the Crizzo thing instead of Crizo? Bob said it himself. Okay. Crizzo, bro. Honestly, I hate to be a dick, but unless you're like doing a super chat or some kind of donation, I mean, I don't even always look at all these. I don't even read all these. It's not that important. Gonna call it now. Nick will win the O. You heard it from me first. Yes, Mark. Yes, Mark. Bob Tickle influence to be able to take. Bob has no influence. Bob has zero influence. He gave up the athlete's rep position, which wasn't much of a position anyway. He's the MC for a bunch of the shows. That's all Bob is. And he's got a podcast, just like me, just like Menace, just like Nick Strength of Power. He has zero influence, Bob Chickarolo, on the judging. Zero. Trust me. Anyone who thinks otherwise, I could promise you he has no influence. Judges don't care what Bob thinks. Jay said it best. If Regan was locked up in Jay's house, he would win the Olympia. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Regan is doing or isn't doing, but the improvements are very, very slow. And I know he's still a young guy, but every year, a year goes by, another season goes by, and you don't have unlimited years in the sport. Most guys, if you have a 10-year pro career as a bodybuilder, that's damn good. Most guys, I'd say the average is like 3 to 5 years, and then they either quit or they get injured or life happens. They have kids and decide they don't want to do this anymore, or they have a health problem. There's any number of reasons why open pro bodybuilders retire or just never compete again. Some of them don't. They plan on coming back, but they never do. It ain't that hard, G. No one gives a damn how we pronounce his name. Yeah. There you go. You are 12. Are you 12? He might be. Who cares how he pronounces you, baby? Epic troll. Well, he's not as bad as that Jack guy, but I think I might have banned him permanently. The one that was in all caps. Mark's a bomb. Crizzo has a better body. Crizzo has a better body than Nick. You know nothing about the sport, guys. Nothing. There is no way in hell, Crizzo is beating Nick Walker today or probably ever. Sorry. Use Brave browser to watch YouTube. There are no ads. I don't know. I don't even know what that is, Street Spirit. I'm way behind. Crizzo Regan needs more legs. I agree. Hope Tyler Mania addresses Bonak's ability to control his gut. I wonder why he always gets away while having a prego gut and wide waist one. Nick gets a lot of heat for it. No, Nick, I've heard criticism. I want to give Tyler a lot of credit because he does a video every Monday morning usually. Sometimes it's like multiple videos, and he puts them on his Instagram, on the YouTube, and he breaks down the show, how he judged it, why they made certain decisions. He goes competitor by competitor for the top few guys. Pose by pose, how they're hitting the poses right or wrong, what they need to improve on, what's good, what could be better, things like that. He doesn't need to do that. The judges in the past never did. Of course, we didn't have social media back then, but even if we did, the judges they had no accountability to the fans. They never bothered to really come out and say, this is what I saw, how I saw the show. This is why I scored it the way I did. So props to Tyler for doing that. Oh, you really don't like Nick. Sass's condition is just off. He's not at his best today. He's not anywhere near as good as he was in FIBO or Detroit, and I don't know what happened. I do not know what happened to him. Unless Crizzo fixes presentation, he won't be a contender. Well, if you're talking about for the Olympia, no, he's nowhere near in contention. Crizzo is, in terms of becoming Mr. Olympia, I'm not saying he can't win Mr. Olympia, but he's going to need to make some improvements to the physique and the posing. The presentation is part of it, but he also needs thicker back, more hamstrings. Until he gets those, he's not even going to be in the conversation. Uncoordinated, yeah. I felt bad Chris was posing as. It's pretty bad. That rear double bicep pose was really wonky. Arms moving all over the place. Yeah, I agree. Chris reminds me of today's Dennis James. Is good in the gym, doesn't translate on stage. Well, the thing with the Crizzo pictures is you post these pictures where they're close up. And if you were on stage right next to Crizzo, you would see all those crazy detail and fibers and everything. But when you're back, we're looking at this, the camera's back like 20 feet. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing a different vantage point. So all those little fine details, they're lost in the distance. So Regan second, maybe. No, I don't. There's no way he's beating Bonac today. I know how these things are judged. I've been to a million of them. Why is Williams still competing? I think this is his farewell year, his farewell tour. People are saying, I think after this year, we won't see him again. Crizzo's got no ass. He needs more glutes. Yeah, I didn't want to say it because, guys, you start making like homophobic comments. But, yeah, he needs better glutes. It's pretty flat and underdeveloped. His hamstrings are underdeveloped. His quads are great. He must be using his quads like 100% in squats, leg press, hack squat, all that, because I don't know too many people that have been able to build huge quads like he has without at least moderate glute development. His is below average. It's not even average. How much time till finals? So the finals is broken up into two. The finals, because it's into two groups, I should say. So they're going to do, I have the schedule saved on my thing. All right, so finals, there's going to be, they all start at 8. No, I'm sorry. There's a finals A that starts at 5 p.m. That's going to be women's physique, 212 men's bodybuilding. This is in order. So women's physique, 212 wellness, 212 awards, men's physique, and classic posing and awards. Then there'll be a short break. Come back at 8 o'clock for women's bodybuilding, figure, women's bodybuilding awards, men's bodybuilding confirmation round and routines, bikini, and then men's bodybuilding awards. So I don't think you're going to see the open men back on stage until around probably close to 9 o'clock tonight. I'd say like 8:30 at the very earliest, but they have to get through all of women's bodybuilding. Let me correct that, because women's bodybuilding is only 3 of them. Not a good sign for the future women's bodybuilding, by the way. So there's 3 women's bodybuilders. That won't take long. Women's figure, women's bodybuilding awards. Okay, so probably looking at 8:30 p.m. for men's open. And then, they wait until the very end to do their awards. How does some of that go? Yeah, there are a lot of because there's a lot of qualifiers and they're not equally competitive, put it that way. If you win the overall, like the USA or the Nationals, you're pretty damn good. You're among the elite. North American too. I put that in close to the same category. Universe, a little less, but then you have like amateur Olympias, Arnold amateurs. Some of the people that win these cards, you have guys and girls, men and women, I should say, they're not children, that win their pro cards as masters in various events. And some of these masters pro qualifiers are not very competitive at all. If somebody shows up, maybe they're the only one in shape. Maybe they're the only one that shows up in their class. I've seen some masters, and I'm a guy who tried to turn pro as a master, so I'm not putting masters down, but there are a lot of people who turn pro in masters that they get destroyed if they try to do an open show. There are masters pro shows that they can do, and they have a much better chance. They don't look as out of place, but some of these people that turn pro as masters, they look very much out of place on an open stage. Get him out like candy nowadays. Nick is handsome. Okay. He's a good-looking dude. Hundreds of pro qual. They're not hundreds. Your mom's flip-flop, but there's a lot more. I mean, in the old days, in the very beginning, in the early 80s, we're talking about like the Lee Haney, Rich Gaspari, Mike Christian, Bob Paris era. Only one guy turned pro every year, and that was for each, I should say more. The only way to turn pro back then was the World Amateur Championship. So Lee Haney was the first NPC Nationals champion. He didn't get a pro card from that. He still had to go to the World Amateur Championships somewhere across continents and win the heavyweight division there, which he did. Same thing with Rich Gaspari. Rich Gaspari won the Nationals, didn't get a pro card from that, had to go to the World Amateurs. And everyone who won their weight class there was a pro. And there was no supers back then. So it was a heavyweight, light heavy, middle, lightweight, and bantamweight. They all turned pro. So you would get 5 pros every year, and that was it. That's it. And then eventually they started giving out a pro card for everyone who won their class at the Nationals, and it became top 2 in every class. Then they added classes like welterweight and super heavyweight. USA championships, only the overall winner used to turn pro. What is this? I think it was over anyway. I think the judging was all over. Yeah, it was all over. I'm actually going to stop sharing that. Stop sharing. I'm going to get going soon anyway. Crizzo has too many flaws. Physique isn't compared to the top 6 guys in the IPB. Crizzo, good shape. Uncoordinated, horrible posing. Does Nicholas look better than last week? I think he looks the same. So you're not judging on posing ability, it's physique. True. I've actually seen shows where there were amateur shows, local shows, where people were just awful. Like they posed like they had never posed before. It was their first show for a lot of them. But I've seen shows where guys were in the judging, looking at the guy next to them because the judge would call out the pose, and they were looking at the guy next to them like, "What's that? What's a side chest? Oh, you do that? Okay, I'll do that." And they still won because they were genetic freaks, but they didn't even know how to pose. They'd never posed before. Nick looks better than he did last week. I'd have to see a comparison side by side to really make that determination. Nick Waste looks worse than last week. Larry got that janky. He tore that bicep. Larry getting that first place social media. Yeah, he was the best that day. It wasn't horribly competitive, but he still won it. People said the same thing with Sammy. Absolutely the best physique that night. Yeah, Sam Sulek, God bless the kid. I love his content. I think he looked fantastic. Will he do very well as a classic pro? You put him next to like a Hosema or a Terrence or Mike Sommerfeld or somebody, Logan Franklin. No, dude, no. He's going to need to make a lot of improvements to get to their level because he's nowhere near them right now. 212 should be completely removed from the sport. Wow, Keon with a couple more pounds of muscle. Well, that would be a terrible thing because there are a few guys like Keon and Sean Clarita that can do very well in the open, but there's a lot of guys in 212. They would not get a look. They would get completely overlooked. They wouldn't get first call out. They wouldn't get second call out because they're 5'1" or 5'2" or 5'3", and they would just look small because they don't take up much space. You put them next to someone who's 5'8" or 5'11", 240 to 280 pounds. They look like little peanuts. Smallest legs, good point. What happened to the guy that tore his pec working out with Larry Wills? I hope he's feeling better. Who's in the top 5? Goku. So we have Nick Walker, William Bonac, Regan Grimes, Michael Crizzo, and I think the new guy, Kennedy Anyanwu, I think he's ahead of Sasan. Sasan's really blurry in the glutes and the hams today. Back isn't as crisp as it was. He might still be ahead of Kennedy. He's got a pretty damn good physique, but top 4 is a lock. The last call out that they did in judging would be a strong indication that it's going to be in no particular order: Nick, Regan, William, and Crizzo. Derek sucks. He doesn't suck. He was Mr. Olympia. He was 212 Mr. Olympia. He's your own class champion. He doesn't suck. What do I think about him? Yeah, I think he needs more. I agree with you, Darren. I think a nice Nasser in you. I think Kennedy, this was a very strong debut for him. He's in the top 5, I think, 5th or 6th at the New York Pro for your pro debut. That's really good, especially when it's you already have first place was a lock. Regan sucks. Derek sucks. Regan sucks. You think everyone sucks? Who doesn't suck? I guess that should be the better question. I wonder why Regan never got some size on his frame. He just put on weight. We could speculate. Why doesn't Regan? We all remember, or some of us remember, a few years ago, he went to Kuwait to Oxygen Gym. Because guys used to go over there. It's not as much of a thing anymore, but that used to be the strategy because the owner, Bader Budai, who's the owner of the original Oxygen Gym plus several others, he had been bringing bodybuilders over for years, and you could live there. They put you up in a condo across the street, apartment, whatever it was. Gear was given to you. Food was provided. They delivered your hot meals to you. You had a trainer in the gym twice a day. All you had to do was eat, sleep, and train. It was like boot camp, bodybuilding boot camp. And guys would go over there, and there were rumors that the doses they were given or were able to access were tremendous. I mean, I remember Brandon Curry made such a huge leap from 2016 Olympia to 2017 the spring shows because he put on 20, 25 pounds of muscle in between over at Oxygen Gym in Kuwait. Anyway, Regan went over there and he was putting on so much size so fast, he became concerned for his health. And he told him he was going home for Christmas to see his family and his friends and all that. He said he would come back, and he never went back. He was afraid. He was afraid for his health because he wasn't willing to take that chance. So, in a way, I applaud that this isn't everything. There should be life after bodybuilding. Yeah, could he be placing better as a pro bodybuilder if he had more mass and everything? But at what cost? He's got a kid. He's got a girl, a wife. I think he's married. And is it worth taking 10 years, 20 years off your life to be Mr. Olympia or to be Arnold Classic champion? I guess you could debate that, but I don't think it is. Oh, this Nick is top. I mean, Nick was third place in 2022, and he's better now. So I don't see him any lower than third, fourth at the worst this year, at the worst. Because you could say the top three is going to be Derek, Samson, Hadi in no particular order. And I think Nick's the next guy after that. Regan, mid-level bodybuilder. Jeez. I don't know if these guys didn't put tan on their face. Yeah, they usually don't. They put like makeup in it. It usually doesn't blend. It's usually not the same shade. Dave Thomas, what's up? Do you think the Instagram Crizzo will ever turn up? Well, the whole thing with the Instagram Crizzo, the videos and the pictures, they're close up. What you're seeing in any bodybuilder very close up, if they're standing right in front of you, if they're 2, 3, 4 feet away from you in nice lighting, that never translates to what you see on a stage where you're further back. It's not the same lighting. It's blasting. It's very, very strong lighting because everybody needs to see. You got people, 50, 40 rows back. You got cameras 20 feet away. You got the judges who are a good 15 feet away. So it's never, ever going to translate like that. 10% ghost, 90% black appearance. Wow, ghost versus black. I'm Preston Nix. Come back. I hope he wins the Olympia one day. He deserves it. However, I don't think the powers that be will allow. Powers that be, it's not like that anymore. There were days in the past when the powers that be, the guys that ran the shows, they did say, I want this guy to win. Or, sometimes it had to do with their contracts. Did they have a contract with the sponsor who was paying a lot of money to the promoter for that show? There was a lot of politics, very shady things used to go on with the judging. I don't think we're in that universe anymore. I don't think it's like that at all anymore. Judging is fair and impartial. Even at the Mr. Olympia, we've had 7 different Mr. Olympias in the last 8 years. In the past, for many years, as long as you were Mr. Olympia and you showed up looking, okay, and sometimes you could still be off and you still beat everybody. Dorian was off a couple times. Lee Haney was off 2 years in a row. They still let him keep the title. Ronnie Coleman was off a couple times. If you go way back, Franco Colombo, second time he won the Olympia, probably should have been like 4th, 5th place, but he won. There was a lot of politics back in the old days, and it's not like that anymore. Regan looks really good. I agree. Your mom's is it me or did the Night Champions New Pro used to have more fame? No, I don't think so. I mean, Night of Champions was a big show because we didn't have as many shows back then, but Night of Champions used to be between 30 and 45 guys on stage every year. There were no other divisions. There was no 212 Classic. It was just bodybuilding. And Night of Champions used to be a really good opportunity for newer guys to get seen, especially if they were from overseas, from Europe, Middle East, places like that. They would come over and do that as their debut. That was Dorian Yates' first show in 1990. He lost to the late Momo Benaziza. But that was our first look at Dorian at the Night of Champions in 1990. Marcus Rule won that show in 2002, I believe it was. I just remember seeing a lot of European talent over there that I'd never heard of. But after that show, I knew who they were. Chat, what's the time of the finals? It starts at 8. I don't think you're going to see open men till about 8:45 because they got to get through women's bodybuilding and figure. As long as he's got that gut and wide waist, he won't. I mean, he needs to control his gut. As long as Nick can keep his midsection pulled in tight all the time. Jay Cutler had not a gut, but he had a thick waist. It wasn't a dainty little waist. He kept it flat. He was very professional, Jay. You never saw him breathe out through the gut and it pop out, but he had a waist. He had a thicker waist. Just hold that double back. His double bicep, the way he's been hitting is awful. And the Champions used to be a top show like the Arlington Prestige. Well, back then they only had like 5 or 6 pro shows a year. Now we have, open pro shows. I think we have like 30. something like that, 30. Back then, there was only a few. Yeah, Bonak's left lat is small on the right. Grimes looks good. Watchful for the was it worth it for Regan to take 2 years off? Worth it. He had a baby and everything. I think it was worth it. Never used to be a fan of Nick, but he looks absolutely incredible. He looks aesthetic in quite a few poses as well. Bob Chick sucks. You just pop in to say everyone sucks. A lot of people watch, comment, and buy Linkcast live streams don't understand the criteria. Oh, Ken, I totally agree. And you know what? I'm glad that there is so much interest in it, but a lot of the people who comment on these, they've never been to a contest. You know, I wouldn't expect them to have ever judged or anything, but if your entire experience of bodybuilding is through your phone or even a computer screen, it's not the same, guys. You've got to get to a show. You got to. It's completely different experience. You see things in 3D. The atmosphere is there. It's something you owe it to yourself to get to a pro show. I know it costs money. This is free. YouTube is free. Instagram is free. So I get it, but still, get to a show, guys. If you want to consider yourself a fan, you need to go to a show. Regan shows. Well, I don't know about the training. I'm not going to comment on that. Regan is a lazy. Well, you said he sucked, and now he's a lazy bastard. Oh well. They start at 8 o'clock, Adi. Use some ad blockers wrong like I do. I think I have 3 or 5. Yeah, I'm afraid because then they block some things I'm trying to see sometimes. Yeah, Nick's varicose veins are still not attractive. Nick, Regan needs 10 to 15 pounds for that. Get that popped front lat. Guys like Regan jump from coach to coach, and soon never really actualized his potential. Yeah, he was with Krizo. He's with Boss now. I don't know. He's been with a couple coaches. I'm not going to tell you what Larry should focus on. He's going to do what he wants to do. Grimes and Walker. What's live? I'm live, but what I was showing you wasn't live. Krizo doesn't have long lats. So what you're seeing is that's where his lats insert. They're a little higher. Nick Riddell, I said the Lunsfords. I think he's overdeveloped. I like the Lunsfords better. Just seems way better than Krizo. I mean, Dennis was third at the Olympia. So far, Krizo is not, and he was top 5 a couple other times. Krizo so far has not gotten to that level. Does Krizo have mobility issues? I would say it's possible. Bonac 2, yeah. Krizo 3. I don't know if he's that high. I think Regan's had him. Jay said in his video, his nerves sets up. Couldn't even watch a video posting on stage. He was so shit. Krizo 4 or 5. A little off topic. Whatever happened to Presti, Mozilla, Laguerre. Giles, just keep up with them, but I've heard nothing about these guys. Well, those Giles, I do a show every week with Giles Power Hour on this channel. We just did a preview for this show a couple days ago on this channel. Check it out. But yeah, those guys are going to show up at the European shows. There's a ton of shows coming up over in Europe. I think there's like 10 of them over there. You'll see all those guys. Theo Laguerre, Andrea Presti, Andrea Mozilla. Muzzy. It's not Mozilla. You'll see him over there. He did make great improvements in his beard. Krizo has a thicker waist than Nick. It's about the same. Grimes fired Milos. That's right, he had Milos. And Sampson fired Milos. Both made major league accomplishments since dumping Milos. Sampson has. He won the Olympia, but what has Regan accomplished since he dumped Milos? He hasn't. The show that he won in 23, I believe he was still with Milos. I believe he was. Bonac won? No, that's not going to happen. He's not beating Nick. I'm sorry. Calvin, look at Bonac's guts worse than they can't control it. Barely get pro cards in Canada, only overall winner. Well, at least they have a few more shows. A couple more. It used to be just Canadians. I think now there's the Ben Weider Natural one. And isn't there another one too? Plus, you guys can go to the North American. You can go to all the amateur Olympias, Arnold Amateurs. So, Dave, back in 1965, when Larry Scott was the first Mr. Olympia, I think there were 5 pro bodybuilders or less in the world. There really wasn't anything. I guess the only pro bodybuilding show that existed at that time was the NABA Mr. Universe, the Pro Universe. I think they had an amateur universe and a pro universe. They still do. NABA over in London, UK. And Larry Scott was one of the few pro bodybuilders, and Joe Weider was. I think he had him in his magazines, and he decided, I'm going to put on this brand new contest for all the universe champions, all the guys. Because back then, if you won the universe, there was nowhere else to go. I guess you could keep doing the pro universe, try to win that every year, but there was nothing else for them. So Joe sat down and said, I'm going to have my own big show for all the champions, and we're going to call it the Mr. Olympia, because they were drinking a beer called Olympia beer, and that's where they got the name. True story. And yeah, there was no qualifications back then. There were no pro shows back then. I mean, the Olympia was the first IFBB professional show. There were no others, and for many years there were no other pro shows. Years later they started to add other pro shows so these guys could have more than one opportunity a year to win a title and make some money. Paul Dilty, I was someone with amazing body, couldn't pose for his life. Paul used to shake. His eyes would be blinking. He looked like he was in pain. Oh, he was hard to watch. He was cringy to watch pose. They used to call Gaspari blocky. He looked like Steve. Dump 212. Woof. Guys are brutal. Aside from Chris massive struggles opposing his lack of muscle in his glutes, his obliques, his elongated neck. His elongated neck. What's he supposed to do about that long neck? I don't know if you guys, I have kids, and they used to watch those Land Before Time. They're older now. They used to watch those Land Before Time movies, the animated ones with the dinosaurs. And the brachiosaurs were all called long necks. Long necks. Yeah. Regan needs 10 to 15 pounds to fill out and get that pop. Yeah, Regan could be bigger. I'd like to see him bigger and fuller. With more chest, more quads, more biceps. Crizzle looks fantastic. Nick and William finale. I've just been there. Nick and William finale. Reagan, nothing. I just been there. Regan too far from. Are you continuing that, Rudy? I don't know. It's differ live or see here from TV. It's very different live. That's why I encourage you guys, if you're ever within driving distance of a show, a pro show, I know it's money to get there. I know it's money. You have to pay for the tickets and all that. But guys, trust me, you will not regret it. It's an amazing experience to be there, especially if you have good seats if you're way up front. Seeing these things live is just so much better. Like, I'm so bummed. I have so much FOMO that I missed the Pittsburgh Pro. I wasn't able to see it live because I know live it was a totally different experience. Just because I've been to shows, the Olympia, the Arnold, the New York Pro many times up front. And it's the energy. It's electric. And seeing the physiques in 3D, the muscles moving right in front of you, it's very, very different from a phone or a tablet or a PC screen. Yeah, I don't think Regan's willing to do that natural bodybuilding. And, he cares about his longevity and his health. And you know what? Good for him. God, you just remoted me on Ron McAway coming on a Campbell. Yeah, that was Night of Champions back in the – so Night of Champions was, I believe it was the first pro show that was ever added to the IFBB. They just had the Olympia for years and years. And I think it was 1978 was the first Night of Champions promoted by Wayne D'Amelia. And they used to have like opening acts, like crazy things. And one year, Mohammed Makaway from Egypt came out on stage in a camel. Camel took a dump right there on stage in front of everybody. Hi, Banu Pratap Singh Rawat. As a teen and during pretty difficult to afford going to the U.S. Well, you have FIBO. You had FIBO there in Cologne. You could have gone to that, right? I know it's still, maybe you're not that close to it, but you could have gone to FIBO. That's your opportunity next year. You want to flip-flop, go to get your butt to Cologne and go see the pro show in FIBO. A little more this year. BM. Larry Wills. Yeah, we won. We talked about it. Who's your favorite bodybuilder of the time? All-time, Flex Wheeler or Ronnie Coleman. They're both awesome. Right now, I don't have a favorite bodybuilder right now, honest to God. Surprised me too, Matt. Front earlobe spread. He does have big earlobes, but you know what? God bless him. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream. I appreciate you all taking part of the chat. We'll be back in a few hours. I don't think Open's going to go on till about 8:30. I don't think it's going to wrap up till probably closer to 10. 9:30, 10 is my prediction. 9 is the very earliest. The finals for that division don't start till 8. So we're looking at like 9:30, 10. So thanks for watching. If you're watching the replay, I had all the footage earlier on in it. We looked at it over and over again. So, yeah. That's it. Don't complain about being German. Don't complain about being Persian. I'm Persian living in Iran. Yeah, no pro shows over there. But you have Hadi. You're Hadi there. Anyway, guys, so thank you all for watching. Appreciate it very much. I'll be back in a few hours after the Open is wrapped up. I do expect Nick Walker to run away with this show. Third pro, New York pro title. But after that, let's see what happens. Let's see. Bonac, I have in solid second, but we'll see. It's not that they're not that far apart. Guys like Regan, Crizzo, Kennedy, Sasson. We'll see how the rest of the top 5 shakes out. We'll see who wins 212. We'll see if Terrence Ruffin can defeat Sasson and Josema in classic. We'll see whether the judges go with the thicker, so a little bit blockier look of Angel Calderon Frias, who is in great condition, or the more aesthetically pleasing younger guy, Francisco Barrios Vilk. We'll see what happens. So appreciate you guys watching. We'll be back in a few hours. And until then, peace.